Colonial Sports Center.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Colonial Sports Center. My name is Colby Short and alongside me, as always, is Kevin Plushka. Kevin, what do we have for the people at home tonight?
Colby, this time of year, we've always got a lot of basketball action, but the weather's getting a little warmer. We've got some lacrosse season previews, and the softball season starts literally tomorrow. So not long until those sports are in action, but Colby, we've got, as always, some basketball to talk about, and most recently, the RMU women's basketball team just completed their game against Detroit Mercy.
That's right, the bottom feeder Detroit Mercy Titans travel to the UPMC Event Center. Let's see if the Colonials could finally get off a losing streak. And they ended up falling 61-55. Emma Trolley Porta. What a night and what a name. 22 points and 9 rebounds, just missed a double-double. Irene Mara had 16 points and 3 assists. And the birthday girl, Danielle Volatich, 15 points and 3 steals, Kevin.
Yeah, another nice performance from Phoenix Gideon. Another double-double. I believe that's her 10th or 11th of the season. Colonials just unable to break that 60-point threshold once again, leading to the loss. But now for more on this game, we've got Casey Earlwine live at the UPMC Event Center. Casey, what do you have for us?
Thank you, guys. And this game was close in the end. RMU once again had 3 players only off the bench, but they were coming off an impressive win against Fort Wayne. Now, also coming in this game, RMU is Detroit's only conference win coming in this game. But Coach Piscatlia said that he never really looks at the standings and came in this game full head of steam. Now, RMU went down 14-4 early, which Coach Piscatlia commented on, saying that they're trying to balance things out when the program is struggling to win. However, one of RMU's bright spots was their bench. Luella Alana was great off the bench, jump-started the offense multiple times with the jumper, including the three-pointer, and birthday girl Danny Volatich had 15 points, their highest score, and 7 rebounds. Now, another struggling point was the interior defense, mainly rebounds. RMU was out-rebounded 44-31 in the game, another struggle there. And Coach Piscatlia said that one of the things that the first thing he commented on when he got in the locker room was 50 points in the paint for Detroit Mercy. That cannot happen. He commented that the team struggled to defend off the bounce and did not play a full 40 minutes that they practiced. And also another issue, oddly enough, was travels. There were multiple times in the game, especially at the end, where a random travel call would come up for the game, and that's just where discipline and fundamentals comes into it. And Phoenix Gideon seemed to have picked up a minor ankle injury and did not play 8 minutes to start the second half, and so we'll see how she goes into next game. She once again had another double-double, 10 points, 12 rebounds. And RMU, they are struggling right now. They're now second to last in the conference. If they want any chance of making the playoffs, they're going to have to go full head of steam and beat Oakland this Saturday here at the UPMC Event Center. That's all I have up here. We'll send it back to Colby and Kevin.
Thank you so much, Casey. 50 of Detroit Mercy's 61 points in the paint. That is crazy. But before that game, the Colonials took on Purdue Fort Wayne on the road on Saturday, looking to snap a 5-game losing streak, and they were. RMU wins 71-63, just their second road win of the season. That was Phoenix Gideon's 10th double-double, and it was massive. 23 points, 11 rebounds. Rebecca Duomo was in double figures, and she played all 40 minutes. The Colonials eclipsed the 70-point mark for the first time since mid-November and held off the charge from Purdue Fort Wayne with Ryan Ott's 16 and Shayla Sellers' double-double, a much-needed, confidence-boosting win for the Colonials on the road.
That's right, it was a much-needed win. Now, you might be wondering, prior to tonight's game, what were the standings looking like, since Casey was talking about Detroit Mercy being at the bottom of the conference. Yep. So let's take a look at the Horizon League standings prior to tonight's action. And right there, you see some stepbrothers there, as Robert Morris and Wright State are tied at 3-11 in conference play. This is prior to tonight, so the Colonials would fall down to 3-12. And Detroit Mercy now at 1-13. Cleveland State and Green Bay running away with the conference, as well as Youngstown State. Kevin, what do you notice? Yeah,
so the Colonials are I noticed that they're going to need to do a lot of work if they want to host a first-round playoff game in the Horizon League Conference Tournament. 4 of their last 5 games are at home, a chance to strike back with a couple teams who beat them earlier in the year, with a couple of tough matchups against Green Bay and Youngstown State, who are at the top of the conference.
They did play well against Youngstown State the last time they were at Youngstown State, so that's a matchup to watch as the season continues to go on.
Now, moving on to the Robert Morris men's basketball team. They were in action Saturday night as well, ending their 4-game homestand against the Wright State Raiders. Could the Colonials get revenge on their loss to Northern Kentucky on Thursday and beat the Raiders? We're going to start things off in the first half of action. We're tied at 12 early on. Enoch Cheeks is going to find an open Josh Corbin, who drains the three. Colonials lead 15-12 early on. A little later, Andrew Walage finds Brandon Knoll, who sneaks that layup past Matt Mayers. The Raiders go back in front with that nice play. Raiders up 4 now. Michael Green III. He'll drive the lane. He'll fake out A.J. Braun, and he gets a little love from the rim. Valentine's Day here coming up. Cuts the deficit in half. Very back and forth affair. Enoch Cheeks gets some space for the Matt Mayer screen, and he drains that three. Colonials retake the lead. However, Wright State would end the half on an 8-0 run, capped off by this jumper from Trey Calvin. Colonials trail by 7 at the break. Second half now. Wright State was up by as many as 14, up 12 here with a chance to put it away, but Enoch Cheeks steals it, and he'll go all the way. 2 hands for security on the jam. This would be the start of a 19-2 run for the Colonials. Michael Green III with a dipsy-do Euro step past Keaton Norris, and the Colonials now lead by 3 all of a sudden. Later on, it's still a tight game. Colonials lead by 1, but it's the star guard for the Raiders, Trey Calvin, stepping back and draining it over Enoch Cheeks. Just like last Thursday, the Colonials would crumble down the stretch. Wright State up 14. Trey Calvin steals the ball, and he would go all the way and throw it down. Hangs on the rim. He'd get a tech, but Wright State would get the win. Colonials have lost 2 in a row. Head coach Andy Toole was not pleased, but here he is after the game.
Obviously a frustrating game. Their game plan from the beginning was very clear and evident, and we weren't able to slow it down in any way, shape, or form. And we got absolutely punked in the paint, and they big boyed us all night, and was the reason they won the game.
So after that, let's take a look and see the men's Horizon League standings as we continue to come down the stretch and enter March. The Colonials are right there for hosting a playoff game, 6-8 in the conference, and only 14 overall. Detroit Mercy 6-8 as well, and Purdue Fort Wayne just above them at 7-7. Kevin, what are you seeing in this?
Yeah, listen, those last 2 losses were really tough for RMU because they were in both until late. Colonials currently tied for 8th with Detroit Mercy. Listen, there's very much still a chance for them to host that tournament game. As you said, they're going to need to take care of business against Green Bay and IUPUI. 3-3 is a reasonable finish over the last 6, but an upset at home over top teams like Youngstown State or Milwaukee, the Colonials have the talent to beat those top teams.
And now win almost over Wright State would have been huge for the Colonials.
Yes,
but on Saturday, the Hall of Fame for RMU was inducted, and the ultimate longevity is that, as we all know. And we have a more inside look for you at the Hall of Fame ceremony.
A great day for 4 more Colonials to take their rightful places in the Robert Morris University Athletics Hall of Fame.
This is a special time of the year. Every time we, come around the February, anytime that you can honor your former great athletes, and in this situation, an athletics administrator, I think, again, it's a special time, and I think with this class in particular, they are, in particular, some of the best athletes in the history of Robert Morris.
It means everything. Like I said, when I gave my speech, when I committed to RMU, it was a totally unknown place. I come from Greece, hundreds of miles away, so it means the world. All the hard work that I have put in, all those years when I was playing for RMU, they paid off. So it's a great honor. I'm truly blessed and grateful to be inducted among the best of RMU.
I mean, he's, my dad's my hero, and, Robert Morris has been part of our family for about 50 years. So when he was the athletic director and baseball coach in the 70s, and he helped lay the groundwork for the sports management major, and for us, like myself and my two brothers, to come here and play sports in really a program that he helped create, and making the unprecedented move from junior college straight to Division I, means everything. And I know that he's really proud of this today, and it's an honor that he never talked about like getting in any accolades or anything. He just did the jobs for the love of the school, and but I know that he'd be really happy today.
Well, I mean, it was a junior college, Robert Morris, and of course taking it from a junior college to Division I, knowing as an athletic director, there's a lot of steps that go into that, and to do that as fast as he did, it's pretty tremendous. And again, to be able to elevate it to Division I, so where we're at today is because of what he did himself, the administration, university administration back then, and of course the team that he led. So we're very appreciative of his efforts and what he did back in the day.
It's an amazing honor. There's not too many who get this honor and get this opportunity, so it's really special. It holds RMU will always hold a special place in my heart, so it's a great honor to be here.
Thank you so much, Ethan, for that in-depth look at the Hall of Fame ceremony. Now, we just talked a bunch about basketball, but when we come back, we've got lacrosse and softball season previews, as well as top 5 plays later on. Stay tuned here on CSC.
Colonial Sports Center. That's CSC women's basketball.
Found my heart out there in the open. Trees make you feel smaller. Can't help but get lost again. If I need a break, know where I'm going. Where the water's flowing, I'd rather be floating. If it's something I can count on to be free.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. As you know, the spring season is starting to come around here at Robert Morris. So Finn Lyons went down to check out the men's lacrosse season. So Finn, what do you have for us?
The Robert Morris men's lacrosse team is back in action this season at the Joe. After winning the ASUN championship last year and making an appearance in the NCAA tournament, the men's lacrosse team looks to repeat their championship efforts as they come in number 3 in the preseason poll.
The Colonials look to be back-to-back champions of the ASUN Conference after only being in it since 2021. After winning championships, some teams fall into a hangover, but head coach Craig McDonald does not think his team will fall into this trap.
If we take care of the day-to-day work, right, and the guys come out here with a great attitude, right, and take care of each other and just focus on getting better every single day at the little things, then, at the end of the season, we'll see where the chips fall.
The Colonials lost 3 of their top 5 scorers in the offseason. Luckily for the Colonials, Taggart Clark grew into an offensive machine last year.
Obviously, Taggart did a really good job of that last year, right, stepping into a new role and flourishing. Right.
I mean, all the credit's due to coaches and teammates. I took a big jump last year due to that, so I'm just ready, gearing up to do the same thing again, hopefully with my boys.
Defensively, the Colonials stayed strong, gaining some youth in the defensive zone. Graduate student Owen Down looks to have another great season while mentoring the youth on the team.
Yeah, I think pretty much like as all the upperclassmen here, we just try to pass down what we've learned and what we've gone through here at Robert Morris and just try and spread a bit of our experience and knowledge to them, try and set them up for the best success that they can have moving forward. And honestly, I just think that the entire upper class is just doing a great job at passing down that info and keeping everyone moving in the right direction.
The Colonials had a boatload of roster movement from transfers in to transfers out and to players looking to the pros. Coach McDonald talks about how he will keep the players focused on this season.
Right, and we're not so worried about it, right? Those guys have done a great job as leaders, right, and mentors for the younger guys, right, through their experiences here, and they're really bought in, right? They're present every single day, and their focus is on the day-to-day, right, making sure that they're getting better and better and pushing this group to be better every single day.
The Robert Morris men's lacrosse team is back in action this Saturday when they visit Bucknell, and they play at 3 p.m. For CSC, I'm Finn Lyons. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Finn, for that look at the upcoming men's lacrosse season. Just like men's lacrosse, the women's lacrosse team is back in action soon, and they are ready to make another deep run, especially after finishing tied for the top of their conference. Our own Cameron Macariola has more on the women's lacrosse team and their upcoming season.
While it remains cold and windy in the western hills of Pittsburgh, here at Joe Walton Stadium, things are heating up as Robert Morris Women's Lacrosse prepares for their 2023 season.
Following a disappointing end to the 2022 season, dropping 3 of their last 4 games, including the 20-10 loss in the MAC championship game to Central Michigan, the Colonials set their sights on reclaiming the MAC title.
I feel good about this season. I think last season taught us a lot of what we don't want to happen at the end, so I think we've been working really hard all fall, all preseason, and we're going to show up and do a good job this year.
It's a whole new team than it was last year. I think we have some really high hopes for what we want to do. We're playing a really difficult non-conference schedule to make sure that we're the champions of the MAC again.
Last season, the Colonials went 0-6 in the difficult non-conference schedule. In 2023, Robert Morris will be seeing a lot of familiar faces as 5 of their first 6 games will be a rematch from last season.
I think playing those teams that we're comfortable with will help us get ready for, we can know what we need to work on, what we're already good at, and that will help us later down when we play our MAC conference.
I think it'll help us out, just give us a little more grit going into each game. You know, you get to see them once, so you got to play your best and prepare extra.
The core of the Colonial team in 2022 was made up of majority underclassmen. This year, there is a wide variety of veteran presence and young blood.
That's kind of the exciting part as a coach, right? You get to piece some things together that maybe were a little bit different this year. 1 year of growing is a completely, we were just watching film this morning of last year's game. What a different team we are this year, and that's exciting.
Yeah, I think we're really excited going into this season with a brand new group of girls. I think we have a wide variety of girls with experience. We have a lot of girls on this team that were a part of the 2021 team where we won the MAC championship, so we know what it takes to get there and win, and we're definitely using last year for motivation going into the season.
The Colonials youth movement was led by leading goal scorer Jenna Irwin, but the Colonials will be without her service to start the season as she still recovers from a lower body injury suffered at the end of last season.
It stinks, right? Any loss to the team stinks. Jen will be back. You know, it's a matter of time. She's still rehabbing strong and moving better every day. So, you know, we can't wait till we get her back. But in the meantime, we've seen other people step up, and that's what's really important is that, you know, we're not a one-person team. We're, you know, a team of 34, and we're talented.
Coach Katrina Silva enters her 6th season as head coach of the Robert Morris program and has set the team's expectations for this upcoming season.
Well, I'd say just making us better every day. You know, she has a pretty high expectation for all of us at practice, and when we don't meet that, she lets us know, and we usually come out the next day better. So we're appreciative of that.
While the Colonials are thirsty for another title, a certain beverage has been the team's motto to hype each other up for the upcoming year.
Yeah. Our word is juice, so when we say that to each other, it just hypes each other up. So juice and go Colonials.
The young star-studded Colonial lineup, blooming with confidence, looks to avenge their losses from the previous season and find their way back atop of the MAC conference. And that journey begins as they go to Columbus to take on Ohio State at 3 o'clock. For Colonial Sports Center, I'm Cameron Macariola reporting.
Thank you for that juicy update, Cameron. Now when we come back, we're going to hit you with some softball and track and field right here on Colonial Sports Center.
If you love them enough to suck the snot out of their nose at 4 a.m., then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today, we face an unprecedented crisis. Tens of millions of refugees have been forced from their homes. But you can make a difference. Turn disruption and despair to hope and opportunity. Even small amounts make a big difference. Provide shelter, support, or jobs in your community. The more we understand, the greater sense of belonging we create. Act now. Visit supportcrisisrelief.org.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. Another RMU sport is starting up very soon, and I mean very soon. The RMU softball team kicks off their season tomorrow. And our very own Hope Beatty has more on the upcoming softball season.
The Robert Morris softball team is looking to start up this season just as hot as it ended last season. Head coach Jex Varner and his team are coming off of a successful season that saw the program's best start in its history. He said, quote, "We started last year 9-1. We had a really great start. We're in a really great place," end quote. Going into this season, the Colonials will have to fill quite a few leadership roles as they graduated 6 of their players last spring. Quote, "We had a really great group of seniors and we graduated 6, and all of them in different forms had really big impacts on our team and our roster," end quote. With the void left by the seniors, the Colonials will turn to their younger players to step up into leadership roles early in their career. Quote, it creates opportunity, and that's kind of the way this group also views it, as an opportunity for people to step up and fill roles and take ownership of their progression and their next steps, and who they are as ball players and young women, end quote. Throughout preseason meetings, practices, and workouts, Varner has seen those roles filled by several different younger players. We've got a leadership structure within our program, and I think Dana Vitakis, Avery Winchell, and Jane Garver were all pieces from that leadership group from last year, and they have really continued to step up, Varner said. But one of the things that have really been cool to see is our junior class kind of take those next steps and mature into those leaders and fill those shoes. And I think also the sophomore class really have viewed themselves as a group that can help and lead as well, because there were a lot of them who got significant time last year and are going to have a lot of impact on our program. And you add that with Jane, Dana, and Avery, we've really got a good leadership structure within the team. I think the group as a whole has stepped up to fill those shoes for sure, end quote. Varner and the RMU softball team are ready to get this season started, as they are eager to roll into the upcoming season with the same momentum that they had at the end of last year, as they ended the Horizon League tournament with a record of 4-2. The Colonials placed second in the Horizon League preseason poll, just behind defending champion Oakland. Quote, "We're really looking forward to it. The preseason poll just came out, and we're excited for people to recognize our success on the field and starting to recognize our success in the Horizon League," end quote. The Colonials will have 16 Horizon League matchups throughout the course of the season. Robert Morris looks to start their season on a high note at the Run and Bowl Classic in Boiling Springs, North Carolina on February 10th at 1 p.m. against Austin.
Thank you for knocking that out of the park, Hope. Now, continuing with spring sports, the track and field team participated in the Bob Shannon Invitational. Let's see how they did in that. And absolutely golden. They dominated, Kevin. Gabriella Parker, first in the 60-meter dash. Maddie Raymond, first in the 200-meter dash. Alicia Moore, first in the 400-meter dash. Any more do you want to talk about, Kevin? Look at all this gold.
I mean, you pick any single one. I mean, all gold, all the time. It's the Bob Shannon Invitational, just a fantastic showing from the RMU track and field team.
That's right. Now, speaking of all this gold, we might as well show you the golden plays of the week here. So when we come back, we'll show you the top 5 plays of the week right here on Colonial Sports Center.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We had this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. Colby, it's now time for what I think is the best segment of each show.
Of course.
It's the top 5 plays of the most recent week in Colonial sports.
All right, let's take a look.
Number 5. We're going to the hardwood. Men's basketball against Wright State. Stephon Walker finds Enoch Cheeks, who drives as the shot clock is winding down and gets the artful windmill layup to go off the glass, and he ties the game. Colby, this was a heck of a play by Enoch Cheeks.
That was a heck of a play by Enoch Cheeks. He must have needed some Gatorade after this. We'll take another look at that. Enoch Cheeks under the layup, overhand, and he'll put it right in. Moving on to number 4, up to Purdue Fort Wayne in their interesting court. Drives the lane, picked off by Alex Moskal. She's going to take it down the way. Kevin, no look pass to Rebecca Duomo, and a nice layup. Danielle Volvatic losing her mind on the bench in an absolute blowout.
Fantastic. And that was the much-needed win for Robert Morris that we talked about earlier. Number 3, just before that play by Enoch Cheeks, a loose ball gets into Khalil Spears' hands. He gives it to Josh Corbin, and he takes it around the defender and gets the reverse layup to go. He just switches course so easily, and he got past the defender, Colby.
A nice Euro step. I guess you could say he went around the world and just puts it nice in the glass. A nice kiss off the glass, as an old partner used to say. Number 2, this play got a little trippy. Blocked shot. Trey Calvin takes it and dunks it with 16 seconds left. The Colonials did not like this. Enoch Cheeks got in his face. A technical was given. In my opinion, you just don't let it happen in your home floor, but a nice play there by Calvin.
Trey Calvin, the star guard on Wright State. I mean, not really what you want to see, but technical foul, but the Colonials lost the game. Number 1, we saw this play earlier. Enoch Cheeks, he steals the ball, and he's going to go all the way and throw it down with 2 hands. This is your CSC top play of the week.
Now looking back at all that great action last week, let's show you some games that we think you should watch this week. And mine is the men's lacrosse team back in action this week as they travel up to take on Bucknell at 3 p.m. in Chris Matthew Memorial Stadium in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. It's the Khalil Spear Bowl, if you will. Last time Bucknell won 14-12 at Joe Owens Stadium on February 12th last year. Tiger Clark, he's back. 56 goals, 75 points, and 30 ground balls. Dutch Furlong, 47 goals, 78 points, and 24 ground balls. Kevin, this is going to be a great game.
Yes, it will be, Colby. And speaking of Khalil Spear, he's my player to watch in my game to watch. The Colonials men's basketball team travels to Cleveland, Ohio to take on the Cleveland State Vikings tomorrow, Saturday at 7 o'clock p.m. Khalil Spear is coming off back-to-back double-doubles following his 30-point performance against Oakland. Tristan Enaruna has found his groove as a Viking since transferring from Iowa State. He's their leading scorer, averaging nearly 15 points per game.
2 games that you can't miss. Men's lacrosse basketball back in action, Kevin. Yep. Can't wait to see how those goes.
Absolutely. And RMU softball starts tomorrow. It's going to be a fantastic season for them, I think, after building off of their successful season last year.
Well, thank you so much for watching Colonial Sports Center. Everybody upstairs, down here on the floor, Kevin Plaucha, I'm Colby Sherwin, and we will see you next week.